Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Omen Thomas Sade.
I am Nick McGill.
Together, we are known throughout the world as the Feckless Momes.
And this is a quick little episode of Talk Tull to Me. This is GLaDOS, by the way.
Hi, GLaDOS.
Here she is. She will rub against the microphone. Prepare yourselves. So, Omen, why is this a quick little episode of Talk Tull to Me? What's going on here?
Oh my gosh. Because we are special boys, and therefore we got early access to the new Tull album, Curious Ruminant. We've just listened to the tracks, and we are going to just briefly talk about them. We will do our typical track-by-track deep dive exploration, as is our wont. Later on in the series, once we finish up the intermediate material that we're currently on, but we just couldn't help ourselves. To talk about this album here as soon as it comes out.
Yes, big ol' thank you to Big Brother James, JDA, as usual, for hooking up the Momes.
Big hookup.
So, let's be honest, Omen, you listened to this album for the first time 2 hours ago? Maybe?
Something like
roughly?
that.
Yeah. I've been listening to it all week. You had a Spartan race. It's totally excusable.
It's fresh in my mind.
Yes,
is what
there
I'll
you
say.
go. That's it. That's perfect. Yeah. So fresh in your mind. First thoughts overall.
You know, I have to admit, I was listening to it in a kind of a business-like way.
I hated it. I did not enjoy any of it.
But I know there were times that I really just had to stop and be like, I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Agreed. Yeah.
So we'll talk about the facts of the album and everything. But I heard this thing in an interview. Some older actor was saying, when you're young, you learn. When you're in your middle period, you earn. And when you're old, you return.
Ooh.
And I feel like this album is such a beautiful return to so much of the classic Tull, to Ian's classic writing, to some of the things that we love from all of the different periods of Tull. There's a lot of folk elements in here. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels in some ways like a very essentialized Tull experience. That being said, there are some sounds that we've never heard before and some things that are, rare in the Tull canon. But for me, it really feels like that return. We are listening to a real master putting out some incredible material.
Ian has finally caught his own tail and has begun to eat it.
That's right. He's Ouroborosing as we speak.
Yeah. And we congratulate him for that.
There's been a lot of chatter in the reviewing worlds and in some of the press about this album that it has a more of a personal approach. Mm-hmm. More, the lyrics and the writing are more personal. I definitely feel that throughout the album.
And I think Ian has said that himself too.
He has.
Yeah.
But at no point did I feel like, ooh, this feels like a private conversation.
Yeah, no, I think the last 70 years of Jethro Tull, even though Ian has said ooh, it's not, none of it's personal, none of it, not a single bit of it. No, how dare you think that
I'm not even a person.
I'm not a person. I'm a
Don't
robot
look at me
creating music with a flute. I think we're accustomed to his writing and kind of picking up on the hints and the personal bits, here and there that are flavored. It just so happens to be it's Jethro Tull with a soupçon of Ian Anderson flavor.
Yes.
Now it's Ian Anderson flavored. Full on flavor.
And boy, is it tasty.
So it's good. I went back for seconds.
It's a habanero kind of flavor.
Oh yeah, it's spicy. It's a good heat though.
I think the difference is when we have clocked, ooh, that feels personal before, it is a slip of the mask. And
yes,
as we have on the album cover, Ian is being intentional about just slightly removing the mask, just a little, to let his skin breathe.
Yes. Yeah. His dermatologist said you got to take it off every now and then.
Just for long enough to put the baby powder on.
Yep.
Track by track, do we want to kind of look through that?
Sure.
Highlights?
Real quick highlights. Sure. Yeah.
Puppet Master is the first track off the album.
Starts the whole album with some gorgeous piano.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely, lovely piano. Really nice. We get some accordion. We get a lot of accordion throughout the entire album.
I was going to say, this album is very accordion heavy. It almost feels like the accordion has taken on the traditional role of the electric guitar.
Yes. Although we do have electric in here, plenty.
We do have plenty of electric guitar on this album. Jack Clark is really bringing it. With a very youthful flavor to his playing, and I don't necessarily mean that in an unhappy way,
in a whippersnapper kind of way,
in a get off my lawn with your guitar and your rock and roll type of way.
Very funky, very nice. We got fun flute. We get some nice acoustic. I think we get a lot more acoustic on this album than we're accustomed to on standard Tull albums as well. You know, unless we're going back far, which helps with the argument of that return. Yes,
there is definitely a focus on the acoustic guitar, and sometimes it is really, really sparsely presented, where you can focus in on Ian's playing, and it's great. It sounds, it sounds similar to how he played in the 70s in terms of the patterns, but it's just that much more elevated.
Yeah, absolutely. Our title track, Curious Ruminant, which was released as a single, so we all know what that sounds like. Lovely piano to begin with, again, very nice. Funky, dark, introspective, but still rocking,
Yeah.
Very solid, very, very solid track.
Ian's voice throughout this album, it comes across really well. I wrote down, I jotted that it feels well managed. He is playing the instrument that he has.
Yeah.
And it sounds great. He's using those lower tones. Even on the flute, I feel like maybe I know that there are a number of flutes that are used on this album, including a wooden flute toward the end.
Yes. Yeah.
But I even wonder if he's playing something like a baritone flute at various points, because it is pitched lower than what I'm used to.
Yeah. He has a variety of sounds and ranges here, vocally and flutely. Yes. And they're great.
Specifically, the Indian bamboo flute on "Drink from the Same Well," which is, oh my god, it's basically a mini concept album track. It's amazing. 17-minute long track.
Yeah, literally, yes.
It's fantastic.
It's one side of Thick as a Brick, almost,
Basically.
Yeah. Followed after that is Dunsinane Hill, flute, accordion. Think there's some concertina in there as well. It's a bit higher pitched than the accordion, in addition to the accordion. Flute, very nice.
Yes. And some mandolin scattered throughout the album as well.
Yeah.
One thing I love about this album is that we're pulling references from all kinds of places across the world. Often look at Roots to Branches. It has that strong Indian influence.
Yeah.
If you look at Songs from the Wood, it has that kind of Renaissance or Celtic feel. We get a little taste of kind of all of those stops that the Tull train has been at. We have references to magical music. We have references to Indian classical music. We have references to folk music. We have references to the Middle East, to Shakespeare, to London. I mean, it just is it all comes together in such a beautiful way.
And of course, we'll talk super detail when we get to the track by track coming very soon. Let me tell you when that's coming.
Do tell us, please.
That is scroll. That will be after we are just about to finish up Thick as a Brick 2. Then we've got Homo Eroticus, and we will start with Curious Ruminant on 7/22.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for July.
We have been prepped to understand this album as a swan song, and
it feels that way.
And if it is a swan song, oh my goodness.
Damn that swan.
Damn that swan can song.
Oh, damn.
But I don't know that it is. It's hard to... Who knows? I really feel like Ian is very much like Miyazaki, who...
Yeah, fair enough.
Has retired several many times and then says, I cannot be restrained from making beautiful films.
Yeah, I've got one more film in me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, is it Kiss, who has had a farewell tour has had like over a dozen farewell tours over the last like 30 years.
Yeah. Or Cher, I suppose.
Yeah, right. But this is more I have an album in me. I have a beautiful anime movie in me. I need to get it out, as opposed to I have to pay my bills, so let's tour again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have the Tipu House, which was also released as a single.
Yep. Very fun.
Really, really fun. That music video is killer.
Yep. I like that one a lot.
Savannah of Paddington Green.
Very cool soundscape we get there. Some nice acoustic, accordion as always. There's Mando in there as well. For its content, which we will not be really discussing, but for its content, the song itself is very beautiful. It's very, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of a highlight for me on this album was Stygian Hand.
Oh, it was. Yes, absolutely. Very folky, almost Celtic, I would say. Yeah.
Dark Celtic.
Yep. More mandolin, more accordion. Is this, I don't know if this one is speak sung. I know that, what is it? Dunsinane is kind of speak sung, and I think there's at least one more.
We have a couple of tracks that are slightly spoke sung.
Spokes sunged.
Yep. And then, of course, the final track on the album, Interim Sleep, is essentially a recited poem.
Yes, that is a recitation, yeah.
Wow. And what a recitation.
Girl.
One of the... I lost my train of thought.
So a Stygian Hand, more mandolin, more accordion. Wonderful, great, very powerful. Ian singing kind of punches at certain points in there. It's very good. Next up is Jerusalem.
Over Jerusalem.
Very lovely opener. Very, very Three Loves Three from Zealot Gene.
I was going to mention there are a number of musical phrases throughout the album that, whether it's intentional or not, seem to echo other musical phrases, other rhythms throughout the Tull canon.
Yeah.
And not in a, oh, well, we've used this once, let's repeat it, but like there's a familiarity. It's like, oh, give me that flavor.
Yeah.
That gives me something to hold on to. And it lets you know that it is Tull. It feels like Tull, this whole album.
Yeah, it kind of, sonically, it kind of skips Rockeflute because it's such a softer, sweeter sound to the entire album, which, because of that, makes a lot of those moments harken back to specific pieces from Zealot Gene. The acoustic, the soft, sweet flute, the kind of spoke sung, very thoughtfully sung. Yeah, it's very, very similar to Zealot Gene.
This is not a heavy metal album.
It is not. No, it's not.
In the same way, not that I would say that Rock Flute was a heavy metal album, but it's definitely like rock.
Yeah.
This doesn't have that same kind of heavy electric heaviness.
Yeah. There is electric guitar. There is electric bass. There is solid drums. It's in here.
But the predominant flavor is more of that acoustic folky sound, and it's just so much fun.
Such a delight. Yeah. Drink.
Yes, please. I will.
Drink from the same well. 17 minutes. It is an amalgam of various bits and bobs and pieces that have been built up over the years. And my goodness, is it damn good. Including
the work of Andrew Giddings.
That's right. Yeah.
This was apparently a piece that was in development 20 years before this era.
Yeah.
And has been revivified, elongated, stretched on the rack.
I think Andy didn't come in to perform it. I think they pulled in the old pieces that he had created, right? Yeah.
Correct. And it had been a potential... It had been marked as a potential collaboration with an Indian flute player.
Yes, that's right.
And I don't think that is... Actually, no, I do think some of the original flute is on this album, is on this track as well, but Ian is playing most of it.
Yes, yeah.
And wow, that flute... The bamboo flute on this track is so cool. It is really unlike anything that we've heard in Tull before, and it is gorgeous.
Yeah. I put out down here literally everything I would want from a Tull song in 2025.
Yeah.
Like it is so close to being a masterpiece. It really is. It is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one that I'm going to have to listen to many times in a dark room.
Yeah. And so it's like 16, 17 minutes. Singing doesn't even happen until 8 minutes in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. By which point you are sufficiently prepped for the singing.
Yeah, you've had the Novocaine, you're ready. Just yank the tooth.
And then finally, Interim Sleep, the last track on the album. As we said, it's a poem. It is on the idea of death, written initially to comfort a bereaved person. And I just love the fact, we won't get into the content of it, but I do love the fact that when probed on the nature of the afterlife, Ian Anderson said, well, first of all, I can tell you there's a lot of frickin' trains.
Well, in his afterlife.
In his afterlife, yeah. First of all, trains. Also, I'm a bird.
Yes, the heartbeat in there, the flute.
Wow.
I told Raven about it. All I said was like, I gave her the premise and I said the line of when I'm gone, I'll be in the next room. Tears. Instantly started crying.
Yeah,
and I can't listen to this song. I've listened to the album several times. I've only listened to that track once.
Yeah. Presumably you're talking about you started crying, not
No, she did.
Oh, she did.
She did. Yeah.
That was nice of her.
Yeah. For me.
I again, every Tull album, you listen to it for the first time, the third time you listen to it.
It's very good. We should have been saying that all along.
So I'm excited to listen to it for the first time here in a couple of listens.
Yeah.
But I texted you right before this recording. I said, wow, he's not phoning it in.
No, he is not.
And it's, he never would, of course, because he's a consummate artist. But wow, what an incredible piece of work.
Yeah. He's going to burst into flames at any moment, and he'll be a beautiful egg right after. But
and we will sit on that egg.
I'll hatch that egg. I swear. I will sacrifice my job to sit on that egg. I'll be on the first plane to London.
The album Curious Ruminant comes out today.
No, it'll be tomorrow. James gave us the okay to drop this a day ahead. So
it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes on your streaming services. It would be a great thing to order a physical copy of the album. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there are any of the grape purple limited edition vinyls still available, but there are some other sorts of copies out there, and I highly suggest you get one for your Victrola. And we look forward to talking track by track about this album, Curious Ruminant.
In about 3 months.
We'll ruminate on it until then.
Yeah. Until then, I am Nick McGill.
I am Omen Thomas Sade.
This has been... No, we have been Feckless.
And still are. And this is... And we are... And goodbye, everyone.
Bye.